Hi, I'm Rob Patterson. I'm in the boardroom of the PEI Bio Alliance with Regis Duffy, who is the chairman and one of the greatest entrepreneurs on Prince Edward Island, and we're on the Startup Canada tour of PEI. Regis, good morning. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I started off as a son of a potato farmer in Kincora, PEI, and went to St. Dunstan's University and graduated in 1953, and that was the start of my career. I did several other things after that, studied theology, philosophy, and finally joined St. Dunstan's University staff. This was about 1957, and then went to New York for 5 years to study chemistry. So the chemistry was the key influencing factor in my life, and I came back to start to teach in 1962 at St. Dunstan's.
And when you started to actually have business thoughts, there was an important person who helped you out here. Can you tell a little bit about your shift from being a university professor to being PEI's leading entrepreneur?
Well, I was influenced by Dr. Douglas Hennessy, who was my research mentor in New York. And we were working on practical problems with respect to the development of insecticides that wouldn't be biodegradable and would work long-term in terms of controlling mosquitoes.
And so how did, because that sounds again like a sort of a research project, but how did the business come out of this?
Well, Doug used to come down in the summertime, and we ran undergraduate programs for students, and this was 3 or 4 months in the summertime. And of course, we were looking for funding to pay these students, and we ran an ad in Chemical and Engineering News, and we were looking for something that would provide cash for us. And a small company from New Jersey called us and asked us if we would make a particular chemical for them, and we wound up doing that. And it turned out, this was the key issue probably, it turned out that this compound was used in the medical diagnostic field, which was really in its infancy in those days, but rapidly expanded.
So that was back when you were probably other than all the other farmers who are all entrepreneurs as well, this was really the beginning here. Could you say a bit now about where we are now, because you're also chairman of the PEI Bio Alliance, which is in itself a kind of ecosystem of entrepreneurs in your field?
Well, it's nice to be called a godfather of this biochemical field on PEI. I'm not sure that's completely true, but I guess I'll have to accept the role. But the world has changed, and Prince Edward Island is no longer based on farming and fishing, and we have to develop some other industries here. And it's a wonderful place to develop companies because it's a small community, and it's a comfortable community to live in. And I think modern technology has enabled us to do things here that we couldn't do 20, 30 years ago. So that's the very positive spin.
And what advice would you actually have for the Startup Canada team as they are moving across Canada with the goal of creating, the mega community of entrepreneurs?
Well, I think entrepreneurship has a lot to do with mood and encouraging people and developing sustainable communities that will be stable. And but the important thing is to develop opportunities for people to work and live. And I think we can do that today here for the first time, perhaps.
Mood and money come together. What would be your view of how best the community here could get the kind of mood they need and the money that they need for startups?
Well, we have to start by encouraging them to think about development and, trying to promote some of the local funds and local money into new startup companies. I mean, many of them will not succeed in the classical sense, but they'll be reinvented and start other companies, and some of these will be successful. But I think, our banks, institutions, insurance companies, I think that we need a positive, at least, mood from them or a positive effort to promote new startup companies, and that's difficult.
Do you think there's a role here then for the community itself, should we say a broader PEI Bio Alliance, to help shepherd that improvement in mood and story?
Absolutely, but it's a process, and it's not a start-stop operation. It's something that has to be continuous, and it has to be promoted, by the local agencies, by government, by the universities, by colleges. It has to be promoted by our institutions, so that this whole question of innovation, gets to commercialization at some point.
Regis, thank you very much indeed.